Hey there, I'm JD and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to clean and reassemble and test this really old vintage Waltham pocket watch. It had a problem with the setting mechanism, and it was causing, it's a lever set watch, and when you pulled it out to set it, it would be great. You could set the time, but when you pushed it back in, it wouldn't snap back to allow you to wind the watch. So there was a problem there. So we're going to make sure this watch is working well and it's all lubed up, and we'll also put it on the old timer and set the time on it and see how well it works. So I'm having one of those days today where I'm really tired. I'm sluggish. So I'm just going to clean this watch and relax, and I probably will make this video over a period of 2 days so I can just do it nice and quietly and relax. And sometimes when you're working on pocket watches, you don't need to do it all at once, right? You can clean the parts, put it back, and then reassemble later, or you can do it all in one shot. But I've had a bit of a long day today, so I'm going to finish the day off by cleaning this pocket watch and getting it ready for assembly, and then when I've got more vim and vigor, I will assemble this watch, because you don't want to assemble a pocket watch if you have any fatigue in you whatsoever. So let's get on at it and to it and at it. You got to tune your attitude in, because if you don't get to it, then you never get at it, but you won't get to it and you get at it again. Then you won't get to it and you get it again. That is a really shitty song. Thanks. Alright, I think I've got all the instruments of cleaning at least nearby, so I'm going to do a quick watch check. And what do I have here? I've got my Interstellar. I'm wearing my Interstellar, my Hamilton khaki Interstellar watch. So it's actually called Hamilton Khaki Pilot watch. So we're going to start this cleaning activity, but I'm going to have to get myself gloves. I need to put some gloves on here and do the old, what I call the Bugs Bunny, where you do this. And there we go. I'm sure that was entertaining. I gotta get some energy, man. Oh, I only need gloves in one hand, though. Only need gloves in one hand, because I'm only going to use this hand to touch stuff. So, there we go. I'm going to remove all the things that I don't want to clean. I have to clean these plates too, and then I've got to look at the actual jewels in the plates to make sure there's nothing wrong there. So let's get some tweezers out. A little bit tired today, so I just have to watch myself and what I'm doing. I don't want to overextend myself and do something stupid, because you should have lots of energy when you're cleaning a watch. So I'm going to leave these parts in here, and I need to clean this plate as well. I think the most important part of cleaning this watch is to clean the plates and the jewels in the plates. The wheels are also critical. I guess cleaning the whole damn watch is important. Why would I say the most important part, right? So, when I'm cleaning, I like to group the parts. I got lots of what they call watch paper here, and it absorbs the liquid from the watch. Liquid. Speaking of liquid, there's some water I was drinking earlier. The other thing I want to do is probably want to put a mask on so I don't breathe this stuff in. And I just won't breathe for half an hour. There's a plan. So the first thing I usually do when I clean the plates is let's rest the plate down first, and then I use a paintbrush to just let that plate fall down nice and easy. And then I have to clean these plates and then peg out the holes after. So, and I still need to examine the jewels and do all the rest of that too. So, but today let's just do some basic plate cleaning and get this done and dusted. And we'll see. I'm always curious to see how much crap was on that plate before I cleaned it. Right? Have a look at that. I need a shtick. There's a shtick. So I used the shtick to actually hold the parts in place as I do the cleaning. These parts bins with the angled bottom are shitty. So I don't know why they make them with an angled bottom, because they make them a lot harder to grab that way. So that's no good. Hopefully this is in focus. So I just let that sit in in the alcohol, the lighter fluid, not alcohol. So this is old style cleaning. I was told by many others that if you're going to do a lot of watches, then you need to buy yourself a proper cleaning machine. Well, I do have an ultrasonic cleaning machine. I don't think it's good to vibrate all these jewels in an ultrasonic machine for a watch that's from the late 1800s. To me, it just seems like it's unnecessary. They didn't have ultrasonic cleaning machines back then, and I'm not going to use one now. So that's, I think, dangerous. That shakes some jewels apart or something. But people swear by them, so I just clean that and then I put it aside. I've got watch paper over here on the side, so I can put the parts as I'm cleaning over there. I got to make sure that I want to make sure I'm focused, because as I've said before, focus is not just a shitty automobile. I'm relatively focused, we'll say. Okay, that's one part cleaned. So just throw these parts in one at a time. I think I'll just do this complete thingamajobby. And so just rest that on there and then slide it down the brush until it gets to the bottom, and sometimes it goes splash. Let me just sit back here because I don't want lighter fluid on me. There we go. And you also, once you've finished cleaning this watch, you also peg out the holes. I elected not to take these little springs off this watch because they're from 1888, and the chances of me finding that part from a dealer, if something goes wrong with that spring, is not so good. So you actually, if you want to avoid, I believe you should avoid taking those springs out, because it's nothing. They can be cleaned in situ, and there's not a big problem there at all. I need some cleaning fluid here, and it won't make much difference, if any. You're just trying to get rid of all the old oil and residue here, and if there's residual stuff, and if there's anything I need to get at, it's like if there's corrosion, I have a brush that I use to get rid of corrosion, but I let these parts completely dry, right? So there's a spring here as well that I'm not going to be touching, but I will let those parts completely dry later on, and that'll get everything out of there. So, and I also will rub this with Rodico. It looks like some watchmaker has done something right here. There's some scratch marks there that would not normally be in a watch. So I don't know what that's all about, but some watchmaker did something to that a long time ago. A long time ago. A long time ago. I remember when the music used to make me cry. And I put this over here and then lean it on that plate. No problem. No problemo. No problemo. I'll clean the ring here as well. And see if there's any dust or anything on the inside of that ring. And this alcohol also turns my little mat. Sometimes it makes the mat do funny things. So I just want to make sure that I get all of the dirt out of here. It's been here for a long time. Dirt and or corrosion. This is a dust cover that goes around the edge of the pocket watch movement. And it is, it's pretty cool. The higher end movements had the dust covers, and the lower end movements did not, which is like didn't. I'm going to do the wheels now. So with the wheels, cleaning the wheels, as I've said in my other videos, I'll put my pegwood in one of the holes. I'll very carefully brush the wheels. Right? They don't need a lot of cleaning. And I'll also roll them in the Rodico later on. So I'll just move my pegwood from one hole to another just so I get the other side as well. And don't put a lot of pressure on it because you can break the pivots. So you don't want to break the pivots. So just very carefully cleaning that part, right? And you're going to roll it later on to make sure that you've gotten everything. So just put that over here. Grab another wheel. These wheels, these watches are pretty easy because they're big parts. They're big parts. I've cleaned very small watches and like ladies' watches. I have friends that keep sending me their wives' grandmother's watch. Stop sending me your wife's grandmother's watch. Your wife's grandmother doesn't care anymore. No, I think they just want to make their wife happy and send it to me, and I moan and groan and usually do it, but it's pretty fine work when you have to clean a vintage ladies' Elgin from 1900 nothing, and it's small as hell, and it really isn't working well. And they say, well, hey, you got nothing better to do. Why don't you clean this world's smallest ladies' watch? I'm like, oh, I really don't want to. You gotta moan. You gotta moan more. I think if you moan more, you won't have to clean it. So this is a fourth wheel here, and I just have to very gently clean the fourth wheel. I do not want that. This is the pivot for the fourth wheel on the end, and I don't want this pivot to be near anything that's going to cause a problem. That's mucho dangerous. Mucho dangeroso. There is the cannon pinion, the hour wheel, and I might as well throw, if I can grab it, throw the minute wheel in there too. The minute wheel, I'm going to leave the escapement out for now. Clean that at the end. These are not too hard to clean. There's usually not that much dirt in them, so sometimes there's oil in the hour wheel that needs to be gotten rid of. So you just want to make sure you're cleaning that. And the cannon pinion, it's hard to dry the inside of the cannon pinion. That's why I let it dry for like a day. If I had a cleaning machine with a dryer, then I'd throw that in there. I almost bought one of those, but you have to do a lot of volume of work to really mandate having a cleaning machine. I know there's professional watchmakers out there, and they can't keep up without having a cleaning machine. And they'll put the parts inside the various bins, and away they go, right? So let me just grab this way, because I don't want to grab it the other way. Come on. Be careful and be very diligent when you do this. Due diligence. There we go. So those parts. I'm going to clean this and probably put it right back to where I got it from. So there we go. Just get the oil off of this. That's the setting mechanism, and this was the one that was causing me the problem, probably. As you can see, it comes apart. So that goes on this, like that. So I'm a little bit concerned that these parts, when I put them back together, there could be issues. So what I'm going to do, I want to take a picture of that, because I know darn well I'll get to it and go, how did I put that? How does that go back together again? I forget. Completely forget. There we go. I think I just took 2 pictures of it. Yeah, there we go. That's that. And I want to check the other side of this wheel to see if there's yeah, there is. So there is an inside and an outside. So this wheel actually goes over like that. On this side, it spins over like this, like that, and then this one goes on the other side and in. So we'll put that together later on, but that's going to be a toughie, a Tuscarora toughie. You get very, very roughy. All right, and there's a little witness mark there, so I'm going to make sure that goes into the right place as well. So I'm going to grab this wheel here and put it on this piece of paper here, and then grab this wheel here, and grab this mechanism. I might be able to break that down further, but for now I'm leaving it like that. And I got one more wheel in here that I should clean. This one right here. It's the world's smallest wheel. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'll just zoom right in on this wheel. This size of this thing. Why would I bother cleaning that, eh? Now you see how much dirt is collecting in the bottom of this little jar? Tons. More than you'd think. I better not be getting a cold. I'm going to be pissed off if I am. So these parts I have over on the side here, I'm going to put them back into the bin and let them dry in the bin. I usually flop them up and down on the paper to get the majority of the lighter fluid off of them. And that way the watch paper just absorbs this like crazy, right? And that way when I put it back in the bin, I don't have to worry about this the lighter fluid sticking to the piece. I got a cough. It was quite the cough. I'm not sure whether that was from the lighter fluid or the dust. Either way, it was quite the cough. I'm going to throw the rest of the stuff in there. I've had my COVID shots, so I'm not worried about that. I did have grandchildren come visit me on the weekend, and turns out they both had colds. Thank you very much. I keep telling my son, don't deliver the kids if they've got colds. And he keeps delivering them and then saying, oh, I didn't know they had a cold. Bullshit. He's not going to watch this video anyway, so I'm not worried. He can't get mad at me and disown me. So this might be dust or whatever. But I gotta get rid of the oil on this one. I should probably put my mask on. The breathing lighter fluid can't be good for you. Causes hair growth, which is what I need. I think I'll breathe a whole can of the stuff, see what happens. The winter's coming, so really opening the window is a pain. I'm dropping this on the watch paper as well because I want to get this most of the liquid off of this part and just stomp it around again. So I'll leave it sit there for a second. I'm just going to throw the escapement in here. And again, this little bugger you got to really be careful with. So you just want to lightly brush the feet of the escapement here, these little feet. Get anything you can get off of them, and then put it back, put it away before you ruin it. And be very careful. And I'm going to clean the pivots out after as well, because I will Rodico the pivots, and I will stick them into pithwood. Pithwood. Best wood in the world. So there we go. That's one part, 2 parts, 3 parts. I need to get rid of this. I need to get the gear in here for the. This is a ratchet. I think it's a ratchet gear for the mainspring. I'm putting it over on the side here because I can see there's a bit of oil on the bottom of the parts bin. So you can't see it right now because I should zoom out so you can see what I'm up to here. How's that sound? I'm just going to lean this over. Enough closing up of cleanings. There. As you can see, I've got the. Is it zoomed in enough? That's good enough right there. As you can see, I've got the escapement here, or the balance is under glass, so it doesn't get wet. I've got this cough that's bugging me right now. Trying to get some of the, using the edge of the watch paper to get some of the bubbles off the end of the escapement here. Put that in there, and then I can also clean the crown. Yeah, I can throw the whole crown in there, I think, and clean that just like that. So it's going to be a crown achievement, a crown jewels achievement. I guess if I was really good, I'd take the crown off of the stem. But this crown stem is one shot, and you just rotate that off. I may try to get rid of some of the rust on this crown too, because it looks like the end of the crown is a bit rusted. So it probably needs some TLC. But first, just clean it like this, and then deal with the rust thing later. That's the best plan. And the lighter fluid is amazing. It doesn't really affect the glue or anything for these things. So I'm just going to put this crown over here for now, like that. And then the last thing I want to clean, well, I want to put this plate in here and clean that. I almost forgot it. Kind of a watchmaker, am I, anyway? Now I'm a hobbyist, so if you want to go to a professional and pay twice as much and do a shittier job, go ahead. But I've been doing this for quite a long time. I've got hundreds and hundreds of pocket watches I've fixed and cleaned. The old school way. And talked about it as well. So that's pretty good, but I want to get this mainspring barrel. I want to clean this jobby doohickey here, so I think I'm going to crack the barrel open on the mainspring. And then pop that mainspring out and get my mainspring barrel cleaning popping out device, which would be a screwdriver. Screwdriver, no thanks, I'll just hold the wheel. So all I'm doing here, just move that over a bit maybe. All I'm doing here is there's a little opening right there, and this is a teed mainspring, as I can see. There's an opening right there, and if I put my screwdriver in here, I should be able to pop the cap off, which I just did, like that. And again, this is another one of these things I always take a picture of because I'm sure that I'll forget which way it goes. So photo time. There we go. And then I need to work the arbor out and then walk the mainspring out. Now what I don't want to do is conic the mainspring, right? I also don't want the arbor to fly all over the friggin' place, so I'm hoping I can get the arbor out without too many problems. And I usually walk this out with gloves on, not the way I'm doing it right now. Yeah, I gotta basically thingy. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, that's why. Alright, there we go. So I want to walk this mainspring out, but I got the arbor stuck in the middle of it. I'm hoping to just punch it out. There we go. Now it's out of the way. So, and if I can just walk this around, like so, I just take up this mainspring very carefully. Oh, I'm going to turn this off. I need to get rid of my glove here. So I'm just walking out the mainspring here, and very carefully, and it looks pretty set. I'm not sure if it'll have enough power to power this watch properly because it's been in here for 1,000 years. So I might source a new one. If you look at that, this mainspring looks like it's fairly set, which means it won't be driving enough power on this watch, or it might not drive enough power. It looks like it's not too conic, which is nice. Only the conic is probably caused by me walking it out, but just push it the other way and have a look at it. It's not too bad. But the main thing here is to get this barrel in for a little bit of a swim, because the oil can collect on these barrels here and they get all gummed up on the inside, and then they're of little use. So just clean that barrel up nicely. There we go. And I usually look at the teeth on the barrel too to make sure there's no issue with the teeth. I've had watches where the tooth is just slightly bent, and I've had to straighten the tooth up, or I've had to replace the part, and that's no fun. Parts are not, these are old watches, so sometimes it's very hard to source parts for them. So that's the main slowdown in repairing one of these watches is getting the right parts if you have a part issue. So I get all of the dirt off of this thing here, let it sit for a few seconds. It's not too bad actually. And I'm not throwing the mainspring in there, but I will throw the center arbor in, as it needs to go for a bath. It needs to go for a bath. There's a lady that I saw that on the news, and her name was Anita Bath. I thought that was pretty funny. First name was Anita, her last name was Bath. It was actually B-A-T-H-E. Anita Bath. And her co-anchor was go to shower. Go to shower. I go to shower. Trying to be funny and I'm not. Anyway, there we go. Pull this arbor out. Two men walk into a bar, right? Need to tell of a decent joke. Actually, that was the joke of a man walks into a bar. Ow! See, he walked into a bar. Now I've got to get this device here, because I do want to do the pallet fork, and even though I'm told that the lighter fluid will not affect the jewels, I like to get it in and out and dry fast. I don't trust any of these chemists who say it's all good. So I'll take this and I'll actually just grab this and I'll just dry this off a lot faster than it would normally be dried off. Just sitting there. So I'm just drying this off. And again, I'll peg these out too. I got my brushes all over the mat here. Isn't that good? See if I can maybe absorb some lighter fluid with these pieces of wash paper. Because that will absorb the lighter fluid pretty quickly. Right? So I think I'm good. Just treat the pallet fork with great ease or great care. There we go. Now I should put it back where it belongs, where it was before. There we go. So that's back. I'm going to move this guy over again, like that. I had to grab it with my fingers, but I just grabbed the crown. I need to put the wheels back. These are clean by now. And put them in here. These screws are kind of crappy. I'm looking for clean spots here. So these wheels are all clean. I can put them in here with this stuff here. Just rest it down nice and lightly. And there's no issue at all. Like that. And then I can throw the, I want to throw the plates somewhere, don't I? I want to put the plates, actually. I want to put one of the plates right here. And just look at when I put a plate down, I look at where I'm putting it so I don't throw it down on top of something where it could get damaged. So hang on a second here. I get the second plate, grab this quickly and then put this underneath, and then I'm going to put the second plate down right here. It should go the other way actually, but I'll just throw it in like this, maybe like that. And then the center wheel, I'll go in like this. The cannon pin, I'll put it over here too. And the minute wheel can go over here as well. They're all good buddies. All those wheels go way back. They're really good friends. So I'm going to put this plate like that. And the mainspring barrel. Like this. I'll peg all these holes out and stuff after, but it's almost time for dinner. And dinner first. Watch repair second. Otherwise, lawyer first. I think that's how it works. So you got to make sure your hobbies don't interfere with your life. Right? Right. And then the mainspring barrel arbor. I can put that in over here. I think I'll put it in the middle. There we go. And then the ring around the rosy like this. And I'll probably leave the mainspring out, but I'm going to lean the face face like that. That was not good. I might leave the face out as well. I'm trying to find a place for it where it's not going to crunch anything. So, 'cause I don't want it to get damaged at all. There, put the face like that, and then put the crystal on the face like this. It's almost perfect. Almost perfect. And I'm just going to rest this mainspring here because I got to measure the mainspring. I got to measure this mainspring, and it's just very lightly touching the outer part of the watch, by the way, in case you're wondering. And I want to make sure that I might order a new mainspring for this. I could try it, put it all back together, and then see whether the mainspring is giving it enough power. So I could do that. If I do that, then I need to take this mainspring and just very lightly clean it, right? I could dip it in the lighter fluid here and get rid of all of the old oil, right? So I'm going to do that. Watchmakers out there are probably having heart attacks right now. What is he doing? So I'm just dipping that in the lighter fluid to get rid of some of the old oil that might be on there, and I'll let it dry. And let's see, I'm going to put more oil in there. Okay, dude, I'm just going to get rid of all this lighter fluid. Nobody light a match right now because it'll be deadly. Positive breathing lighter fluid is not good for you. So I'm just going to get rid of all that there. And there we go. That's good enough. Good enough. Enough. And I'm going to just put the whole shooting match back on here. Like that. Press down. That'll all evaporate. It's a lot of friggin' lighter fluid, isn't it? I'm not putting that back into the container. I'm going to leave it outside the container. You see how many sheets of, how wet these sheets are. They're only wet down to there, so they're dry here. So I think I'll just put this spring on here and let that dry. There's another sheet. Oh, there's lighter fluid on my table too. It's all over the place. Lucky I don't smoke. Anyway, so that's that. I'm going to put the top on here again. That. So that's just a basic cleaning. Like I said, you should be pegging out the holes as well. I could peg the holes out while I'm here, right? I could do some hole pegging. Some hole pegging. I know what you're asking. You're asking, hey JD, how do you peg out the holes on a pocket watch? And I say, well, first you got to do this again with the glove, because you don't want to be holding the plates with your fingies anymore. So you want to remove this again, like that, and like this. Get rid of this thingamajobby doobie hickey. And if I can pick things up with my, I wish my tweezers would open more. Just very carefully pull those out. So you want to start pegging from the bigger holes to the smaller holes. That's how you peg the holes. So you just get all the plates out of here and that need pegging and put a cover on this so it's relatively protected, right? So here I've got the movement plates, right? Like that. And okay, I'm focused here, right? So if I go up here, I'm still focused? Yeah, I'm pretty focused. So there's the plate there, and I can use this stick here. And this is pegwood. So the first thing I need to do is peg out the bigger holes. So I'm not going to bother, yeah, I better sharpen the pegwood. So the biggest hole that I need to peg out is the center hole, or the center right there. So that's the second biggest hole maybe. So I can peg it out with the pegwood just the way it is. And you just do that. And that just gets rid of any dirt that might be in that hole. And you can do it on both sides if you want, but you for sure have to do it on the side where the watch is operating. If you've got other devices, parts of the watch that are going inside other holes, then peg those out as well, just to get rid of any oils that might be in there. And then you want to peg out the jewels. So this is where it gets a bit tricky. So you gotta get your C1A1 knife, which is this thing here, this knife here, and very carefully I'm putting my lens on, because what I want to do is sharpen the end here so it can get inside the jewel hole, right? Which means I've got to really cut it down. So I'm just going to cut that down on all sides until it feels like it's really sharp, and it can actually fit into a jewel hole. It's a bit tricky to do, especially when you're talking with a camera in the background. There we go. So that will fit into the jewel hole. Now sometimes you'll get a thing on the end of that that's like a piece of pegwood on the end that will cause it'll actually stay in the jewel, so you gotta watch that. So that's pretty sharp right there. There's no issue with that particular job I've done. So if I look at the bottom plate here, and I'm looking at the jewel settings right now, I will, again, like I told you later on, I'll be putting this under a microscope to have a better look at it. I can put those in like this and then turn it like that, and start from the bigger holes and move your way to the smaller holes, like so. And then the next one, and put the pegwood straight in and straight out. So go straight in, rotate it just a bit, and straight out, and then look at the hole. Make sure there's no pegwood left over. So that's done. And looking at the other side here, it's looking pretty good. So that one's done. And you get the other plate out, and you're looking at upper jewels here, I believe. Upper or lower, maybe lower jewels, no, upper jewels. So you want to do it from this side, because that's where the pivot will be going through. You want to start with the bigger jewel and then work your way around to the smaller jewel as you peg it out. So I'm looking at my piece of pegwood, and it's still looking pretty good. It conforms to the hole size in the jewels, which is kind of neat. So even though you're getting to smaller holes, the pegwood ends up becoming smaller. Now here I actually have to remove the cap off of this to clean this jewel, because this would not, I don't believe this would go all the way through. But there's a cap here and then a jewel underneath, so I have to remove that. I'll do that after. I have to remove that and pull the jewel out and then clean that hole, right? And actually, if I do that right now, let me show you how that's done. You can get it, you can attack it from the top. Just adjust my camera just a bit here so you can see what I'm up to. Is that good enough? Let me just, which way do I go here? Which way do I go? I'll just stay right here, okay? So, get a screwdriver out. Again, I'm getting pretty close. I might hit my head on the camera. And I want to make sure that screwdriver fits the hole. I think I'll do that this after. Just doing this on your camera is not... You basically have to remove these two screws, and then you take two screwdrivers and you put them on either side, and you twist them, and this cap will come up, and then you peg the hole. So that's what I'm going to do. So, but I think it's a bit too difficult to do under camera. I've done it in other videos, but I'm hitting my head on this camera as it's too close. So, so I'll do this with a camera. So that's basically cleaning. I don't believe I have anything else I have to clean here. I do have to take a piece of Rodico and then pegwood, and then do the gears that are over here. So I just pop those. I just take a piece of Rodico. Just show you how that's done really quickly. So I've got a piece of Rodico here. I'm going to fold it over. It's not the cleanest piece, but when you fold it and double it back, it cleans it up nicely, right? So you get a fairly clean piece of Rodico. You got to remember to fix that. And I'll just refocus the camera here. So I got my Rodico here. I'll do one wheel here to show you. So you take this wheel, like that, and what I want to do first is roll the wheel. So I'm going to roll this wheel. Should probably have gloves on right now, but I'll switch hands here. I want to roll this wheel in the Rodico just to get anything that might be on that wheel. And then I want to roll the inside of the wheel where the pinion is, and I will look at that a little later again to make sure there's no pieces of goop in the pinion. It's my microscope work. And then poke both sides of the part, the shaft of that gear, and then use pegwood to peg out the shaft and peg this shaft out. And that cleans it up nicely. And that's a very hard technique to use on the escapement, by the way, because the escapement is so dainty that you can ruin the escapement by doing something like that, because it takes some pretty dainty work. But it's good to roll the gears in the Rodico just to make sure you've cleaned any dirt that could be in the gears themselves, and roll out the pivots or poke the pivots into the Rodico, and just examine that gear down here really carefully. The pinion. Just examine the pinion and make sure there's no leftover crap in the pinion that could cause the watch to stop. So this is the one that I worry about the most, because it has a seconds hand on it. And so I'm just going to roll this, and I'm going to poke the ends with, I'm not going to use Rodico on that because I don't want to bend that pivot and have any way of bending it. So that's where the second hand needs to go. I could do this side though. I'm afraid of the other side. I'm trying to roll the pinion as well, so that you pick up any dust that's left over, and put that back with that upward. So I'm going to put that in an upward position. And I still have to do that other jewel, so I'm going to put these plates back. And again, watch where I'm putting them, so I'm not putting them somewhere where they can get damaged. I still have to take the jewel out of here, or peg out the jewel here. So I don't want to forget doing that. And again, what I'll do there is remove these screws, which are probably in there pretty tight. You see how tight these screws are in place. No, it's not too bad. Were these actually moving or not? Maybe they weren't moving. Hard to say. I think I'll do this later. Do this under duress, under camera. See that screw here. Yeah, I want to examine this under the microscope as well. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. That's the cleaning. For now, if I missed anything, you can let me know. I don't think I did, but that's hand cleaning basically. So, as opposed to putting in an ultrasonic cleaner and just letting her go. So thanks a lot. The next step will be to examine the jewels to make sure I don't have a significant issue with the jewels here, and then reassemble if I don't have to replace any jewels. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It's up on the top. jdwatchservice@gmail.com if you want me to do any work for you. I do live in Canada, so I do like the Canadians to do work for me, because the US with borders and stuff, it becomes very difficult. So, but anyway, thanks again for watching my channel, and this is just a quick cleaning of the pocket watch.